Hi guys, thanks for tuning in to another video on ForgottenWeapons.com. I'm Ian, and I'm here today at the Rock Island Auction House taking a look at the guns that are coming up for sale in their December 14 premiere auction. One of the ones I noticed in the catalog that I was curious about was this 22 caliber rifle. It's listed as being interchangeable from both semi-auto to bolt action and back. But that's always kind of interesting. And when I tried to do some research on it, I was curious to find that there's very little, if really no, information out there about it. It's labeled, it's marked a Model 45 by the RF Sedgley Incorporated company out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Sedgley is a fairly well-known company. They're best known for making some really high-quality sporting rifle conversions from surplus guns after World War II. Mausers, Springfields, Enfields, and the like. And some of their conversion guns really bring big money today. They're interesting, collectible, and desirable guns. Sedgley had a number of other business interests. They kind of got their fingers into a lot of different areas of the gun world. They had a contract to produce Springfield 1903 barrels for the U.S. Marine Corps for a time. A lot of different things. But it's really hard to find any information on a Model 45 22 caliber rifle that they made. So let me bring the camera back here and show you a little more of the detail of this gun. And I'm going to speculate a bit on what it might be. Alright, so here are the markings. As you can see, RF Sedgley Inc, manufacturer of firearms, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Model 45. And as you can see, the stamping on those markings kind of reminds you of a ransom note. Totally not even, definitely done by hand and not mechanical. So we'll keep that in mind for a little bit later. Now if we zoom out a bit, let's take a look at the whole gun. The finish on it is in extraordinarily good shape. The wood's very nice, a few nibs here and there, but clearly this gun hasn't seen all that much use. You can see the finish on the buttstock is in fantastic shape. Normally, the buttstock gets slammed down on the ground a lot during use, and that's an early thing to get worn. And we have a magazine down here. The magazine release is this tab. It's spring-loaded. We pull it back. It's a little tight. Pull it back, and then we can pull out this magazine. Looks like it's probably a 5-rounder, 22 caliber. There it goes. Now, of course, the action is the really interesting part here. We have a bolt handle that rotates up and down just a little bit. When we rotate it up, we can then pull the bolt back. This is just a plain blowback action, nothing holding it forward except for spring pressure. I can lock the bolt open right there. It's a nice little cutout in the stock and a notch in the metal to accept it. Then if I lift that up, it goes forward, and I can lock the bolt that way as well. Now if I were going to use this as a semi-auto rifle, I will leave the bolt in the upward position. This allows it to cycle each time I fire. If I want to restrict this to single shot use, all I have to do is lock the bolt in place. That prevents it from coming back when the gun fires. And then after I take a shot and I want to cycle the gun, I lift the bolt up, cycle it manually, and then lock the bolt back. The rear sight here is pretty typical for a 22 caliber. It's basically a little buckhorn deal. And a nice big blade front sight. So the safety is this lever. It has a pivot right here in the middle, and it has a spring-loaded detent right there. And if I push it over like that, you can see it's now lodged itself underneath the trigger. That prevents the trigger from moving. Very simple, pretty effective. To disengage the safety, I just push back on that side. Now there's nothing in the way, and the safety will move, or the trigger will move. So again, we just push that down and under. That ball bearing detent keeps it from just falling out of engagement. It's interesting, the closest place I've seen a safety like this was actually on some very late war German World War II guns. Had the same thing, but made to a much cruder standard manufacturer. So my suspicion on this gun, and I have absolutely no documentation or paperwork or anything to back it up, but my suspicion is that this is a prototype developed by the Sedgley company in an effort to see if they wanted to get into the market for 22 caliber rifles. The fact that it's in such outstanding condition suggests to me that it just sat in a back room somewhere. The fact that it has no serial number and very crude markings on it suggests to me that very few of these were made. If this had gone into mass production, it may well not have had a serial number. Back in the 40s, it wouldn't have legally needed one, but they would have had roll stamping to do this work cleanly and quickly. Like I said, I suspect this was a prototype. The company decided that there just wasn't enough of a market for them. Maybe their cost would have been too high, or there were too many other designs out that they didn't want to try and compete with. And they ended up scrapping the project, and decades later, the rifle, the original prototype, gets out and floats around the market. Well, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. It's always fun to look at an unusual mystery rifle from time to time. If you think you know what this is, I'd love to hear from you. And if you'd like to own it yourself, it is up for auction in the December 2014 premiere auction at Rock Island. I have a link in the text description below to Rock Island's catalog page on it. You can take a look there, see their pictures and their description, and place a bid on it if you'd like to have it yourself. Thanks for watching.